This Western sci-fi mashup directed by Jon Favreau was released nationwide on July 29th and ended up grossing just slightly more than its $163 million budget. Daniel Craig stars as an outlaw who wanders into the 1873 town of Absolution with substantial amnesia and a weird alien device strapped to his wrist. When the owners of his alien wrist gun show up to the small western town and start abducting the townsfolk for experimentation, the outlaw teams up with Harrison Ford, who plays the local wealthy cattle rancher, to track down these mysterious demons from the sky, and find their missing friends and family.
They're coming back! It's coming around again! They're coming back!
The first half of this film is a breath of fresh air, an exciting and captivating blend of Western elements mixed seamlessly with the sci-fi genre. Witnessing an alien attack from the perspective of characters who barely understand the concept of outer space is a novel concept, and one I wish was examined further. Instead, these ideas and themes are pushed aside to make room for loud and explosive action scenes later in the film. Visually speaking, Cowboys and Aliens is a true delight. The visual effects are imaginative, detailed, and thrilling. Cinematically, Favreau fills nearly every scene with beautiful landscape shots of the Old West, so picturesque you could stick them right on a postcard. Although the plot descends into a typical Hollywood action film in the third act, the plot is an original one, not a reboot, remake, or sequel. And given that it's able to quite aptly hold your attention, such a feat is very commendable. Especially so considering the film had 5 separate screenwriters. There are familiar elements, of course. The lone outlaw who has to band together with his enemies so they can achieve a common goal, and the scenes inside the alien spaceship feel very similar to old Star Trek episodes. Rounding out the supporting cast is up-and-comer Olivia Wilde, who, despite being incredibly easy on the eyes, mostly just recites her dialogue with little personality, as if trying to get the project over with. Craig and Ford, on the other hand, have 2 huge personas that are almost too big to share the screen together, so it was a great treat to see them both wearing cowboy hats, riding horses, and shooting revolvers. But neither one gives a particularly impressive performance, but given the genre, Academy nominations aren't expected either. It's no secret that I'm a huge Harrison Ford fan, but I can't help but notice with his increasing age, he just seems to be getting angrier and angrier, reduced to a typecast that does nothing more than ask him to constantly scream at his co-stars. Being a silver screen legend though, he pulls off these screams very well, even if it did cause me to crack an unintended smile or two. If you're in the mood for a classic summer blockbuster with chase scenes, pretty ladies, cool special effects, and some awesome locations, Cowboys and Aliens doesn't disappoint. It's the definition of a classic popcorn movie, and when taken with a grain of salt, it's an immensely enjoyable motion picture. Cool concept, a fun adventure. Well, that's what I had to say about the film. Now let's see what you had to say in the YouTube comments. Back again for the 119th time, here's the Rate-O-Matic to show us how we both scored Cowboys and Aliens. A 7 and an 8. Favreau did a splendid job bringing together 2 great genres and 2 great leading men for a very cool summer movie. But sadly, it wasn't much more than that. I thought it was cool. Some of you enjoyed the Western sci-fi blend, while others got more enjoyment from the explosive action scenes. Your scores averaged to a great.